ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ವಿಷಯ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಹಿಂದಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಾಗ ಹಿಂದಿ
ಮಿಕ್ಸ್
ಫ್ಲಾಶ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಲಾಶ್ ಆಗಿ ಜಾಗ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
सदगुरु शरण बसवेश्वर जी के चरण कमलों पर समर्पित होते हुए आज पीयूसी प्रथम वर्ष पास होकर द्वितीय वर्ष में प्रवेश पाने वाले विद्यार्थियों को सीधा प्रसारण के द्वारा कक्षाओं का प्रारंभ होने जा रहा है। इसलिए सबसे पहले मैं ये आशीर्वाद देना चाहता हूँ शरण बसवेश्वर विद्यावर्धक संघ के माननीय विद्या भंडारी पूज्य डॉक्टर शरण बसप्पा अप्पा जी एवं मातोश्री दाक्षिण्य अप्पा जी के इच्छा के अनुसार आज विद्यार्थियों को पढ़ाने के लिए सीधा प्रसारण की कक्षाओं की व्यवस्था की गई है। सभी गुरुजनों के इच्छा के अनुसार एवं प्राचार्य सर एन एस देवरगल सर जी के मार्गदर्शन में परिस्थिति के अनुसार आज विद्यार्थियों को हम लोग मार्गदर्शन करने के लिए या पढ़ाने के लिए यहाँ पर उपस्थित है। कोविड-19 के कारण आज हम घर में बैठे हैं। समय बदलता जा रहा है, लेकिन इस समय के साथ हमें भी कहा तैयारी कर लेकर पाठ्यक्रम की तैयारी करवाने की कोशिश हम करेंगे। प्रिय विद्यार्थियों, टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ आज हम जुड़ जाते हैं तो बहुत कुछ सीख भी सकते हैं। पर एक बात मैं आप विद्यार्थियों को ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि जब आप लाइव क्लासेस सुनने के लिए आ जाते हैं तो बहुत ही सतर्क रहना। इसमें चंद बातें हैं, जैसे कहा जाता है कि भविष्य की तैयारी में जब हम जुड़ जाते हैं तो सबसे पहले प्रारंभ बहुत जरूरी होता है। शुरुआत जो होती है, शुरुआती का जो पड़ाव होता है वो केवल भरोसे पे रहता है। जब से हम लोग कहेंगे कि विद्यार्थियों को आज हम जिस भविष्य की ओर लेके जा रहे हैं उसको हम कह सकते हैं कि केवल 7 मुद्दों में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बी पॉजिटिव इन लाइफ। जैसे कहा जाता है कि बिगिन यानी शुरुआत करो अपनी पढ़ाई। हम आज करें आपके लिए शुरुआत तो आप भी शुरुआत कीजिए। बिलीव योरसेल्फ फर्स्ट, मानना बहुत जरूरी होता है अपने को और आपके मार्गदर्शक अपने गुरुजनों को। उसके बाद सुनना बहुत जरूरी होता है। लाइव क्लासेस में सुनने के लिए जो बैठे रहते हैं तो बहुत ही ध्यान एकाग्रचित्तता के साथ आप अपने ही पढ़ाई में अपने आप को क्या समर्पित कर लेना। और क्रिएटिव कुछ पढ़ाई ऐसी हो, अक्सर पढ़ते समय हमने लिखना भी ये समझ लिया है। जैसे लिखनी शुरू कर देता है तो क्या लिखना क्या नहीं लिखना बहुत आवश्यक होता है। इसलिए चंद बातें मैं कहना चाहता हूँ। जैसे शुरू हो गया, नेक्स्ट आप गुरुजनों के बातों को मानना पड़ेगा। जो कहते हैं सदगुरु को जब हम मानते हैं तो विद्या देवी सरस्वती का क्या आशीर्वाद हमें प्राप्त हो जाता है। और सुनने में भक्ति और श्रद्धा, जब भी कोई कक्षाएं सुनते, चाहे वो घर बैठे हो या कक्षाओं में, तो सुनने बहुत बड़ी एकाग्रचित्तता की आवश्यकता होती है। और इसे सुनने के बाद हम जब लिखना शुरू कर देते हैं, जिन मुद्दों को लेकर लिखना शुरू कर देता है, उसमें भी बहुत बड़ी क्या बात होती है। और लिखते समय विचारों को एकत्रित करते जाते हैं तो तब हमें लगता है कि विद्यार्थी जीवन में कभी कभी विश्वास का फिर निर्माण हो जाता है। इसलिए कहा जाता है कि एक और विद्यार्थी को अपने एटीट्यूड का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है, मनोवृत्ति जिसे कहा जाता है। उसके बाद लगता है कभी कभी विद्यार्थियों को कि बिलीफ यानी मानो ABCD का आज मैं केवल यहाँ एक सूत्र बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं। A फॉर एटीट्यूड यानी अपने मनोवृत्ति को बहुत ही क्या मजबूत बनाइए और अपने आप को मानिए और विश्वास के साथ अपने कर्म में लग जाइए, क्योंकि आज के बाद जो लाइव क्लासेस होने जा रहे हैं वे सभी क्लासेस यहाँ आपको घर बैठे रहकर सुविधा के अनुसार प्राप्त होती है। इसलिए विश्वास करो और संकल्प की शक्ति बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होती है। कोई कार्य प्रारंभ करने से पहले संकल्प करना बहुत जरूरी होता है, इसलिए डिटर्मिनेशन की जरूरत बहुत होती है। जैसे हम संकल्प शक्ति के साथ एफर्ट करने शुरू कर देते हैं, प्रयत्न करते हैं, तो कोई काम हमारा अधूरा नहीं रह जाता है। इसलिए विद्यार्थियों को मैं अक्सर कहा करता हूँ या विद्यार्थियों को टीचरों का एक मार्गदर्शन होता है कि विद्यार्थियों में प्रयत्नशीलता की बहुत एक भूख लगनी चाहिए, जिसको हम बोलते हैं बर्निंग डिजायर। इच्छा को लेकर प्रयत्न करो और प्रयत्न कभी भी निष्फल नहीं होता है बेटा, प्रयत्न कभी भी निष्फल नहीं होता, क्योंकि विद्यार्थी जीवन केवल प्रयत्न करने के लिए है। इसलिए आज ऐसे एक बहुत ही लोकप्रिय विद्या संस्था के अधीन कोविड के इस महामारी के कारण हम यहाँ पर लाइव अध्ययन करने के लिए विद्यार्थी को मार्गदर्शन जब करते हैं तो कहा जाता है कभी कभी सर हम कभी घर बैठे बहुत ही निराश हो जाते हैं। मत हो जाइए निराश, बहुत अच्छी बातें कवि ने कहा है या संतों ने लिखा है कि प्रयत्न बगैर किसी को कुछ नहीं मिला है। चिड़ियाओं को भी अगर खाना जुटा लेना है तो भगवान आकर उनको घोंसलों में नहीं देता है, उसके लिए प्रयत्न करना ही पड़ता है, क्योंकि प्रयत्न एक ऐसा ही एक मार्ग है जिसको लेकर कहा जाता है कि नेचर गिव्स बर्ड्स देयर फूड, नेचर गिव्स बर्ड्स देयर फूड बट डज नॉट पुट इन द नेस्ट, दे हैव टू वर्क हार्ड फॉर इट, नथिंग कम्स इजीली, नथिंग कम्स इजीली। प्रयत्न ही वो पहला पड़ाव है जिसको लेकर आज गुरु शिष्य के इस पवित्र वातावरण में हम लोग आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। और ऐसा भी एक आश रखिए, बुझी हुई क्षमा फिर से जल सकती है, यानी मनुष्य को अंत में एक बात याद रखनी है, आशा बहुत विशेष है। मनुष्य को आशा रखना चाहिए, निराश कभी नहीं होना चाहिए। इसलिए कवि ने बहुत सुंदर ढंग से कहा है, एक दो पंक्तियां सुनाना चाहता हूं और उसके बाद अब गुरुजनों के पाठ प्रारंभ हो जाएंगे। आज बुझी हुई क्षमा फिर से जल सकती है, बुझी हुई क्षमा फिर से जल सकती है, भयंकर से भयंकर तूफान हो किश्ती निकल सकती है। निराश न हो, निराश न हो, मायूस न हो, सिर्फ मेहनत करके देख, भारत के जवानों की किस्मत बदल सकती है। इसलिए किस्मत केवल प्रयत्न पर है, किस्मत केवल मेहनतियों का होता है, किस्मत केवल आशावादियों को होता है। किस्मत कभी भी क्या अटूट लगन और श्रद्धा भक्ति से होता है। ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶರಣಬಸವೇಶ್ವರ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ ಪದವಿ ಪೂರ್ವ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸವಿನಯ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಏನೆಂದರೆ, ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು PUC ಪ್ರಥಮ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಫಲಿತಾಂಶ ಪ್ರಕಟವಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ। ಇವತ್ತಿನಿಂದ ದ್ವಿತೀಯ ವರ್ಷದ ಪಾಠ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ। ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆಯ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು, ಆದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲಕರ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಇದೆ। ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಈ ಲೈವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಆಸ್ತಿ। ಈಗ 1.5 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಂತಾರೆ, ಆದರೆ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬದಲಾಗಬೇಕು। ಹೊಸ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು। ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಹತೋಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಸಾಧನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫಲ ದೊರೆಯೋದು ಬಹಳ ಕಠಿಣ। ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮೈ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್. ಮನಸ್ಸಿದ್ದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ವೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವಿಲ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೇ, ವೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವಿಲ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೇ. ಈ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಪ್ರವರ್ತನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಚ್ಚಬೇಕು. ಸದಾ ಕಾಲ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹತೋಟಿಲಿ ಹಿಡಿದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೂತ್ರ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಸೃಜನಾತ್ಮಕ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾದರೆ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆಟ ಆಡುವುದು ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಗಿ ಸಹಜ, ಆದರೆ ಆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸಹಜ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟಬೇಡಿ. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಆ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಏನೂ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಜಗತ್ತಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಶರಣಬಸವೇಶ್ವರವರು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ತನ್ನ ಗುರುಗಳ ಸಮೀಪ ಹೋದಾಗ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಒಂದು ಹತೋಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದಾಗ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಫಾದರ್ ಲೆಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದಾಗ ಜೆ.ಸಿ. ಬೋಸ್ ತನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹತೋಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕೆಂಬುದು ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಗುರು ಬಿನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ನಹಿ ಹೋತಿ ಹೈ, गुरु बिना शिक्षा नहीं होती है और शिष्य बिना गुरु का कोई महत्व नहीं होता है. इसलिए अंत में कबीर की दो पंक्तियां मैं सुनाना चाहता हूं. करत करत अभ्यासते, करत करत अभ्यासते जड़मती होत सुजान, रसरी आवत जात सिल पर परत निशान. ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಸದಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಬೀಳಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಸದಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಪ್ರವರ್ತನಾಗಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಆಸೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಿ. ತಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಳಗ ಈ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಬರೀ ಓದು ಬರ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಫಲಿತಾಂಶ ರ್ಯಾಂಕುಗಳಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಈಗ ಬದಲಾಗಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಏನನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಒಂದು ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ತನ್ನ ಪರಿವಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ತಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ದುಡಿತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಪೇಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೆಬ್ಬಯಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಆ ದೇವರು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಸಹಕರಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಇಂದಿನಿಂದ ಆ ನಡೀತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೈವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಸದಾ ಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್. ಅದು ಒಂದು ನೀವು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡೋದು
ಏನು ಸರ್?
ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಸರ್ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್
Good morning, students. As we had sent a message yesterday that from today onwards we will start PUC second year syllabus, and the platform that we are using because of this COVID-19 situation, we all are held at our respective homes. So to overcome this situation, we need to explore online platform for teaching, for learning. As such, there are many platforms. Zoom, free conference call, our teachers have tried few of the platforms which are available for online teaching, online learning. But out of all these, what we find is that coming live via YouTube is relatively better. And with that resolution, from today onwards, we all are here to deliver whatever best from our side to our children. While learning on any such platform, one has to have certain self-discipline, self-control. Because electronic gadget, particularly mobile with internet, its use depends on how do you use. I mean, its importance, it depends on how do you use. So whatever the timings for the classes are scheduled, if you use for that period as a restricted timing to learn on the online platform, that would be better. I mean, extra use of mobile also may lead to distractions. So anyhow, you are intelligent enough to understand what is good, what is bad. I need not to speak more on that. Coming to certain basic things while learning online, I had suggested even in yesterday's message, kindly you have a pen and notebook so that whatever the important things you find while learning via YouTube, you can note down the important points. See, only hearing and observing, listening is not enough. In any process of learning, writing, taking down the notes plays vital role as far as consolidation of the subject is concerned, understanding of the subject is concerned. So kindly see to it that whichever class you are listening, you have a separate notebook and pen so that you can take down the notes. As I have already mentioned, I am here to go with physics. Before that, Dr. Chandrakant Patil sir has spoken few important things, and during his class, even I was observing through another mobile. So, you come to the chat box, you just message in the chat box only if you have got doubts. Please, no good morning, no wishes via that chat platform, because it will disturb to everybody while listening to the lecture. So kindly see to it that, and no any such comment which will violate certain basic rules which are framed as far as cyber rules are concerned. Anyhow, you all are well matured, as I said, to understand all these things. Any such bad things or bad comments, if we find on the chat box, we will have to block that particular user for coming online. So kindly mind that. So let me quickly move to the subject physics, which I am going to deal with. Second year physics syllabus, broadly you can divide into 4 parts. First part is optics. Again in that you will have a geometrical optics and physical optics. Second part is the electrostatic, current electricity part. Third part you can refer as a magnetism, and fourth part is modern physics. So even as per the books that you have got, NCERT prescribed books, you will find optics part as well as modern physics in one volume, whereas electrostatic, magnetism you will find in another volume. So today I am going to start with that part which is very important from the point of competitive examinations. Things are simple to understand, only one has to have a thorough understanding about certain basic concepts, certain fundamentals. By having thoroughly understood the fundamentals, you can very easily manage with this part of syllabus, second year syllabus from physics, electrostatic as well as magnetism. But as I mentioned, what you need to do is that understand the things conceptually very thoroughly, because what we find over a due course of our experience, what I personally observe is that physics is relatively difficult to most of the children while appearing the competitive examinations. To remove this phobia of physics difficult, you need to follow certain discipline methods while learning the physics. So whatever the things are there, you need to understand them conceptually very thoroughly. Fundamentals need to be understood. But after understanding fundamentals, the next step comes applications. Most of the questions in competitive exams, what we find, application based, where you will have to correlate different formulas together, you will have to go for calculations, and then only you are going to get answer at last. Okay, anyhow, so with the due course of our learning, we will try to develop all those whatever basic things are there to understand physics in thorough manner. I'll try my level best to reach up to you in a simpler way. So as I mentioned, we will begin with the part electrostatics. It's very common in our day-to-day life. You might have observed, particularly in the childhood, you take a pen, rub with your head, and after rubbing to your head, that pen, if you take a piece of papers or dust particle, what you see or what you have observed in the childhood, those piece of papers getting attracted to the pen. Even you might have seen, when you comb your hairs, particularly during dry day, soon after combing, if you take that comb again towards the piece of papers or dust particle, you observe the same as like you had observation in case of pen. If you want to quote here, I think a few years back, you have seen or you have experienced by making our friend to sit on a plastic chair. If that chair has been hit by some towel, and after doing that, you ask somebody who doesn't know what is going on, come and just touch your friend. What you find? A crackling sound as well as a kind of shock there. Even you might have seen by wearing certain, a bit silky cloths. Well, after coming from outside with bit silky cloths, if you go to take a glass of water or tub of water, as soon as you touch the water, tub of water, again you experience a kind of shock and a crackling sound. Even while wearing the cloths or removing the silky cloths, same kind of crackling sound you might observe. You might have also seen that in the vehicles which carry inflammable liquids like petrol and diesels, they are provided certain long chains at the front as well as back, and which are slightly touching to the ground. That makes us to think why those chains are provided. All these observations, whatever I quoted, naturally creates a question, curious question in our mind. Like why the comb attracts piece of paper? Why the pen attracts piece of paper? Why I am getting shocked if I touch to the friend who is sitting on the plastic chair? Why I am getting a crackling sound if I go to take a water from tub of water? All such curious questions are going to be answered in a branch which we are going to study from today, and it is electrostatics. Its name itself will tell you, will make you understand what it actually does. So electrostatic is a branch in physics where we deal with electric charge at rest. See, as I mentioned, this itself will tell me what I am dealing with. Electrostatics. The word static is very much familiar to you all. Static is the one which is at rest. We refer it as a static. Under the influence of many forces also, one can have an object at rest. We call it as equilibrium condition. So under equilibrium, under static condition, study of electric charge or study of charge we refer as electrostatic. Now when I mention that electrostatic is the one which deals all about electric charge, then I need to know about electric charge also. So let me go ahead to understand what actually we mean by electric charge. As you all know that matter has got a mass. If somebody asks you what is mass, even being studied well about the physics at lower classes, most of the time certain simple things makes us unanswered. What is mass? Sir, mass is mass. But as a student of physics, I should answer mass is the intrinsic property of matter which is responsible for gravitational force. I like this. I have electric charge also, an intrinsic property of matter which is responsible for electric force. So let me quote here then. Electric charge is intrinsic property of matter which is responsible for electric force. So while writing the charge, while writing the force, I have the word electric coming over here. Electric force, as I mentioned, even electric charge. Now the question is that, what is that word electric? We need to go back bit in history to understand what is the origin of the word electric. Somewhere around 600 BC, scientist Thales of Miletus country had a very strange observation. And the observation was certain substance when rubbed with suitable material were found acquiring property to attract other. So what was the Thales observation? Certain substance, yellowish substance it was, after rubbing with suitable material, and of course accidentally he had this observation. That material was attracting or after rubbing with suitable material was attracting other materials. And the material was amber. So Thales' observation was amber has property to attract other. With the due course of time, there were other materials also which were found showing same behavior like amber. And it was the scientist William Gilbert. Scientist William Gilbert. He noticed that there is not only the amber which was having a property which I mentioned, attracting others after rubbing. There are several other materials behaving like a amber. And he mentioned that in his book. All this material he mentioned with the name Electra. William Gilbert in his book, which was explaining about material like amber, he mentioned all this material as electra. And this word electra again has an origin which comes from Greek word. Amber, which I mentioned, its Greek meaning is electron or electro, but only electro also you can mention. So from that electro or electro, we have the word electric coming into existence, which we use with charge, like electric charge we say, electric current we say, electric potential we say, electric field we say. So bit history, how the word electric has come into origin. After this, as I mentioned in the beginning itself, charge is an intrinsic property which is responsible for electric force. days, charge were classified, of course. Even from beginning days and now also, we have got two types of charges. And that has been decided conventionally. In the beginning, charge on the glass rod was called as Viterus. Charge on the glass rod was called as a Viterus, and charge on the wool was called as a resinous. Wool or amber, you can say, was called as a resinous. So in the initial days, the two types of the charges were, one as a Viterus and another as a resinous, because of resinous like property of the amber, it was named so. Again, even these words have got Greek origin. But with due course of time, this classification of these names were a bit modified by scientist Benjamin Franklin. He conventionally decided to call charge on the glass rod as a positive charge. So I mean that Viterus is called as a positive charge now, whereas charge on the amber or wool, resinous charge which we mentioned, is called negative charge. So now we have got two types of the charges which we study now. One of that we call positive charge and another we call it as a negative charge. So there are two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. Excuse me. Kindly excuse me, there was a bit interruption due to the mobile. Okay, anyhow, so as I mentioned, there are two types of charges, positive charge and negative charge. Going ahead, we shall study about certain important and basic properties of electric charges. So let's go ahead about properties of electric charges. Of course, these all are very basic things. Most of you are very well known with that. I need to remind you all these things. It's very common, or you have already understood. Like if you take a two glass rod, rub them with suitable material, and you might have had an activity also. One glass rod hanging, another glass rod taken close to that. What we observe is that glass rod going away from each other, and going away is a simple to convey that, is to reveal that there is a repulsion. Similarly, if I take a glass rod and ebonite rod, rub them with suitable materials and again do the same activity, hang one of them, take another close to it, you find that they are coming closer. So glass rod goes away, reveals repulsion. Glass rod, ebonite rod comes closer, reveals attraction. And mind that two glass rod rubbed with suitable material will have a same charge, which we call later as a positive. So you mean that between positive charges, You find there as a repulsion. Similarly, if you can do with the two ebonite rod also. Two ebonite rods you rub with suitable material and take them closer again. You find going away. Those rods going away. One hanged, another taken closer. Again, which is to reveal that there is repulsion between two ebonite rods. Two ebonite rods will have the same charge, resinous, negative. So between two negative also you will have a repulsion. So point to be noted, point to be mentioned here, positive, positive, repulsion. Negative, negative, also repulsion. So to consolidate between like charges, like यानी positive, positive or negative, negative. What we find? There is a repulsion. And between two unlike charges, there is attraction. I mean between like charges, repulsion is there. Unlike charges, attraction is there. And this is one of the important property of electric charge that one has to remember. Going with the next one, whenever we deal with electric charges, we may come across where we will have to add the charges. Like a body possesses already some amount of charge. By some method which we will come for the discussion soon after this, I add some more charge to that body. But the curious thing is to understand how much will be the charge on the body after doing so. In such situations, we make use of the property of charge which we call as additive property. So what is that? Additive property simply tells us that electric charges can be added just like the numbers. They are the numbers. But the only thing, while adding the electric charges, that one has to take into account, their nature need to be taken into account. So I mean, if positive charge is there, plus sign you will have. Of course, these are simple rules of mathematics. If negative charge is there, I will have to go with negative sign. Say for example, on a body already I have got some minus 4 coulomb charge. That I have got added with 8 coulomb of charge. So together, I am interested to know how much charge do that body possess. And as I mentioned, to get that, to know that, what I will have to do is that make use of this property. What the property tells me that add the charges just like the numbers, but the only thing, while adding them, take their nature into account. And in negative charge, negative sign I have written. Positive charge, positive sign I have written. So the net charge, if I have to get according to this property, I will write minus 4 plus 8. And the charge that you get is 4 plus 4 I write. Unit and all, we will come to the discussion after that. Just understand what I mean by additive property. So additive property helps us to add the charges, just like a number taking their sign into account. Moving to the next time, very important property is quantization property. Very important. The word quantization oftenly we come across during study of physics. It doesn't leave us. Just quantization. So the first thing, first priority is we need to have a thorough understanding about the word quantization. And once if you have that understanding, hopefully this property is not of any difficulty at all. Say for example, if you go to the market, if you go to the shop and ask the shopkeeper to give eggs, to purchase eggs you have gone, and if you go there and ask, give me 8 eggs, 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 4 eggs, 5 eggs, whatever it is. So shopkeeper very comfortably will deliver you 1 dozen, 4, 5, whatever the number you have asked. At the same time, if you ask the shopkeeper, give me 4.5 eggs, give me 8.9 eggs, give me 6.1 eggs, so that shopkeeper probably will ask the worker to hold you and drop up to your home. Because he feels something odd demand you are putting. He will feel that something odd demand you are putting. So what it means? Giving that 4.2, 6.1 or 9.8, whatever I mentioned, that kind of transition of eggs is never possible. So you mean there is a limit for one minimum giving or taking. What you can do minimum, how much eggs? I can give 1. And then in the multiple of 1, like 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4. So we have a limitation for transition here. And whenever such thing happen, whenever such situation comes during study of physics, where we find certain quantity has a limit while giving or taking, its transition is possible only in the form of integral multiple of minimum value. In such case, we call that physical quantity is quantized. So hope you are getting me. See how the word quantization, quantized we use. As I mentioned, for the transition, if there is a limit of certain minimum value, and transition is possible only in the integral multiple of that, such physical quantity need to be said as a quantized. Same thing we find even in case of electric charge. Well, transferring electric charge from one body to another body, we have a limitation that electric charge can be transferred only in the integral multiple of one minimum value. And that minimum value as of today, of course, we have got less than that also. But when it comes for during transition, stable state of transition is possible with a minimum value which we call as elementary charge. So what I mean? Electric charge can be given or taken, can be transferred in the only integral multiple of one minimum value. And what is that minimum value? E, which we call elementary charge. And this is equal to 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. So how much is the elementary charge? 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. Now whatever I narrated in words, whatever I put, what did I say? Electric charge can be transferred from one body to another body in the integral multiple of minimum charge, elementary charge. Same thing can be put into mathematical way, and that is a very important equation as far as competitive exams are concerned. So I write the charge which can be transferred, I'll say as a Q. Capital Q or small q generally we use as a symbolic representation of charge. Like for every physical quantity while studying physics, we have certain representation. For generally capital F we go. In that way, to represent electric charge, I make use of the symbol Q. So electric charge which can be transferred according to this condition or this condition itself in mathematical way. I can write integral multiple of elementary charge. So this n value is integer, n is integer 1, 2, 3 and so on. And while writing this equation, I will put a plus or minus sign. I will tell you why, what for this plus and minus sign comes. We need to go ahead with certain basic method. We will speak over that. So right now, we shall remember this as the equation for quantization condition. Rather, I would say this is quantization condition in mathematical form. So Q equal to plus or minus NE you can write. So very important and very simple quantization property or quantization condition we have got in regard with electric charge. So hope you got me. Important one. This is important one, which speaks about how the electric charge can be transferred from one body to the another body. So going ahead, next property that we will go with, fourth property, conservative property. Again, the very familiar word has come in that property, conservative. The word conservation we use to simply say remains constant. You have come across while dealing with energy, law of conservation of energy you said. And when I ask you to put the law of conservation of energy in word, you will simply say that energy can neither be created nor can be destroyed, but it can be transferred from one form to another form. So this is a simple statement that you have come across while dealing with law of conservation of energy. Somewhat in the same way, even the conservative property of charge has to deal with. The property says electric charge neither can be created nor can be destroyed. While teaching you ahead, the important methods called electrification, I'll narrate you details about it, what actually it means. So right now just to remember, electric charge can neither be created nor can be destroyed. And remember that this property holds good under all circumstances, under all conditions, be it chemical reaction, be it nuclear reaction, be it any another event or reaction, we will have this property holding good. Say for example, I have got a simple fusion reaction. Two deuteron are coming together, fusing together to form the helium nucleus. If I ask you, I think basics you know, this number, this is A value, Z value we call. Z is atomic number, A is mass number, This A gives you number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus. This gives you, Z gives you number of protons in the nucleus, you can say. And I need to mention you that charge on the nucleus gets decided by number of protons inside the nucleus. So then naturally, if I go with this deuterium, I have got plus E as a charge. So charge on the first one proton I have got plus E as A. Charge on the second one is also plus E. These two together, because before the reaction, fusion reaction, if I ask you how much is total charge, I simply say it is a 2E. These two have undergone fusion, as a result of which I have got another nucleus, helium nucleus. And if I work out the charge over here after the nuclear reaction, what I get is that again I got two protons here. So charge I will have 2E. So understand here. So what I observe, before the reaction and after the reaction, charge is same. Before the reaction, after the reaction, charge is same. And this is what the conservative property says. Charge can neither be created nor can be destroyed. But interestingly, there are certain events in the nature where we see charges are created, charges are destroyed. But remember that it's not by violating the law of conservation of charge. Rather, I would say simultaneously positive and negative charge can be created, simultaneously a positive and negative charge can be destroyed. And that we find very important example which we come across in the nature, one of that called pair production. In this pair production, what basically happens, we have got a heavy nucleus. This heavy nucleus is made to undergo energetic radiations, gamma rays light. So energy is reacting with heavy nucleus. Energy in the form of bundles, photons you can say. And for your kind information, charge on the photon is 0. There is no charge on the photon. Photon has a 0 charge you can say. So after interaction of this photon, bundle of energy photon with the heavy nucleus, what we find is that there is a production of a pair. You will have a positron and electron getting produced. So what is the process? Simple process. Photon is interacting with the heavy nucleus, as a result of which there is a production of two particles. One is an electron which has a negative charge, and another one is not a proton, positron, antiparticle of electron it is. Antiparticle I mean the particle which has got same mass but opposite charge to that of the given. Like electron I say. What's the mass of electron? 9.1 10 to the power minus 31 kg. What is the charge on electron? Minus E. About E already I have mentioned here. Elementary charge. And which is equal to 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. So charge on electron is minus 1.6 10 to the power 1.6, of course, minus sign, minus 1.6 10 to the power minus 19. So I have a particle which has same mass as to that of electron, but opposite kind of charge, plus E, and a plus 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Such particle I call as antiparticle. And the process what I have got is called pair production. But our interest interest in this process called pair production is to see about this property. Does it hold good here also? And it's very clear, you can see. Before the production of this pair, how much charge did we have? 0. After the production of pair, how much charge do we have? Again plus E minus E together, net charge is 0. And this is what the property has to say. What did we say? Initially, charge can neither be created nor can be destroyed. But now I will just put in another way. Charge can neither be created nor can be destroyed, but at a time, an equal amount of positive charge and negative charge can be created, and an equal amount of positive charge and negative charge can be destroyed. As like we see in case of pair production. You got a pair of two particles produced, net charge is 0. Before the net charge was 0. So even this property of electric charge, conservative property, holds good. As a opposite process to this, counter process to this, we find in the nature called annihilation process. There what happens is that what we do is that we make positron and electron to combine together, interact together. As a result of which we get photons, you can say, bundle of energy. So what I mean here, I am destroying charge, but at a time I have got positive as well as negative. Net charge I have got here 0. After the reaction, annihilation reaction, I have got net charge as a 0. So here you have got a charge appearing. You may feel like you are creating. You have done that, but not like either only positive charge or only negative charge. Here you may find you have destroyed the charge, but you cannot do alone positive, you cannot destroy, alone negative, you cannot destroy. Rather what you can do, you can just destroy them in a pair. This effect we call as annihilation. So today, right from starting from electrostatic, I just gave you a brief history about how the word electric has come. After that, I introduce you with two types of charges. Initially, were called as a Veterus and Resinus. Later on, Benjamin Franklin named it as positive and negative. And lastly, we had a discussion about some basic property of electric charge. So for today, this is enough. The next class has been is to be conducted by Vishwanath Patil sir in chemistry. So he is waiting. Till then, see you tomorrow. So tomorrow I will continue with important concept called electrification, important concept called charging, and very interesting also. So see you tomorrow with continuation about electrification of bodies or electrification of given objects. So goodbye. ಕ್ಲಿಯರಿಟಿ ಅದು ಅದಲ್ಲ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅದು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದು